Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics. Behind me, I'm showing CNBC, and it shows that the Dow hits 20,000, went over 20,000 this morning for the first time ever. It opened over 20,000. So like, what does that mean to us? So, but I froze this right there because that's the only thing pretty much that I listen to most of the day. I listen to that, read everything else, and then I was like listening because we have this headline down here that says Dow hits 20,000, and it's moving forward. And then you have these two people that he's interviewing who are telling you everything about why it's not going to stay there, why it's going to end, like why everything is bad. And it's amazing that you can, as soon as something good is happening, like all we tend to hear on television is like, don't depend on it. So a lot of times for us in the Black community, like we don't, we listen to these things and we never get in and participate. So there is a danger there that if we continue to just wait until everyone else is doing something, sometimes we'll miss the boat. So the best thing to do is make sure that you poise your investments so that they are positioned for all types of marketplaces, making sure that you're diversified. And I've told you this many times, across asset classes, and definitely investigate speaking with an investment advisor. Now, an investment advisor is a specific license. That what I do is actually just help people with my primary job is to help people select investments. I don't work for a product. So an investment advisor is different than a lot of the people that you may have been, that our community tends to work with, that are connected to their particular product. And even if they work for a product and they also have the ability to do fee-based business, that doesn't mean that their primary practice is to just do and give and share investment advice. But that's what Bryan Financial Group does, and that's what AfroEconomics, the root of it, the support of it, is to create an environment for our Black community to develop wealth and to be comfortable in talking about these types of things, and being able to know that you have somebody in the family that you can talk to about financial challenges. And it just, the more we talk about it, the more confident we are, and whoever you work with, you'll start asking better questions. And it's amazing. Like when I'll meet people and they will have been, really making some really bad choices with their money. And I love it that when we get back together, for our quarterly meetings and things, they start like really asking some really good questions. Their confidence is up, and they're just really on top of their game. So let's make sure that we learn early on, as early as we can. Like, plan for your financial goals as early as you can. So that's a long intro. But again, I had some key things I wanted to make sure that I tell you about the AfroEconomics.com website before we start talking about our key topics here. And that there's a free app for you that makes it easy for you to get information. The app also includes a discount on book purchases, so that and that's going to be expiring soon, so make sure you take advantage of that. And so download the app, and then also investigate AfroEconomics membership that allows you to have one-on-one meetings with me and so much more. And so, that's a good thing, I hope. And then also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Another goal for me to make sure that I encourage you. Thank you. Or I got over 600 subscribers. Look, what's my, I wanted to see that happen so early in 2017, because my daughter has a YouTube channel and she has way more subscribers than me. So, and I know I work harder than her, but the young people know how to click that subscribe button. So I really appreciate that. But she doesn't have as many views. So still, she says, Mom, how do I get the views that you have? So we do like to we do like to look. So that's a blessing. And click subscribe too, so you can get the alerts, and really it'll make your life easier in keeping up with our Wednesday discussions. And then a reminder, or to inform you, you might not even know about it, on the AfroEconomics.com or jdbryan.com website, click into events, and I have a free workshop coming up again in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia. The Marriott, I'll be posting the information, so you'll have hotel information, and that's for the future of Black wealth, to have a larger discussion in one-on-one, and I mean not one-on-one, in a group discussion that we can all talk. And I'll be discussing the 10 principles of Afroeconomics, and that is Saturday, February 18th. So make sure that you check that out. So today I wanted to talk about the market, that 20K, and the federal job freeze, and some tax tips, and then I will let you go. Thank you to my viewers. If you have any comments, please know that I can't see it. You always I really appreciate y'all, because you talk to me and I can't see it while we're talking, but I definitely will respond as soon as I click stop broadcast. And one day when I grow up, I will figure out how to do that at the same time, so that I can see it in the Google Hangouts. It's I know there's a way to do that, but I'm an investment advisor. So let's look at the market. Now, I'm going to say this the way it was reported on the news this morning. This is the way it came at you. The Dow Jones Industrial Average hit a major milestone this morning, opening above 20,000 for the first time. Investors pushed stocks higher following strong earnings reports and President Donald Trump's vow to cut regulations for businesses. The Dow has been flirting with the 20,000 mark for weeks. The stock market has seen a huge rally since Trump's election. So that is the summation of why we had the 20,000, according to Common News reports. But for Afroeconomics perspective, let's think about how and why are the Dow Jones, which is 30 stocks, why are this 30, over the majority of them moving higher? Because it has to be most of them moving higher, if not the Dow Jones, or it could be one of the 30 that's just doing extremely well. But there's a lot of them, and I'll give you some of the key Dow components. But we all should know, when they say the Dow Jones, you should know that we're only talking about 30 stocks. So that 30 stocks, but each of them represent different industries. That's the goal anyway. So a reason that is given, or that we can think, and when we say, why is this happening? Why is the stock market responding so positively? What's going on? Well, just know that the stock market is volatile. So this is a good thing, but 20,000 will only be the record high for a moment, because we're already over 20,000. So by the end of today, or we're already reaching different, or doing this discussion, it could be going down, but that is just a key point. It hit it. So then if it goes down, then it will be saying that it's down. So you'll be getting reports. So that will sound negative. But more important, I want us to make sure that we always realize that everything that you hear that talks about investments really isn't always relevant to you. I have just as many clients that don't like the stock market that do like the stock market. And a lot of times they're in different points in their life, and they don't want that type of volatility. So we have to look at other things in order to invest. So in no way am I trying to encourage that everybody should be in, the stock market, because no, that's the point. Everybody likes different types of investments, and this is just what makes, the news. They don't, you don't hear great big headlines, when people make a whole lot of money on a real estate deal. They don't talk about that. But there are people making money in real estate deals. There are people making money in stocks that are not public. They're buying companies that are not publicly traded, and they're selling them for a lot higher, making a lot of money. There's a lot of things going on. But the Dow is just, it represents 30 stocks that have been selected for the Dow Jones Industrial Average to give us an indication of how the U.S. businesses are doing, well, large companies. So it is suggested that we're having this movement because of lower, the new administration is suggesting that they're going to lower tax rates for businesses. So that means that businesses can keep more money, and they can hopefully hire more people. And if they're not paying it back to the federal government in taxes, then they're in a position to build more things, build more buildings, do whatever, buy more inventory, whatever they have to do in order for that business to operate. That's the goal. If you reduce their taxes, hopefully they'll hire more people, make more products, everybody will benefit, and we'll all have jobs so we can buy those products, and it will all benefit in the end. That's the goal when the government says they want to lower taxes for businesses. They've also said they want to lower taxes for people, so for us individuals. So they want to. It's also suggested that these things are happening in the stock market because the administration is saying that they want to reduce the regulation that businesses have, so that businesses spend a lot of money on regulation if they have a lot of things that they can't do or how things have to be run. And there's a lot of arguments on, yes, they need the regulation. Well, we just need to focus on the fact that this administration wants to lower the regulations, hoping that that will allow them to create more positions, and positions that we want, that we can be employed, and that we can hopefully get rid of that Black unemployment that is twice the national average. There'll be some job opportunities, and also with restricting the trade, or changing the trading policies, where trying to encourage businesses, our businesses, to do more business, or to keep more jobs in the U.S. That hopefully will help from an Afroeconomics perspective, businesses be in a position to hire more people as well. And then I wanted to point out that the Dow is up over 1,200 points since Trump was elected. So if you're you have to kind of find out, like, if you're investing in things, or the only thing that you put your money in is in CDs, then this might not even be relevant to you. And you might have a CD that doesn't mature for another 4 years, and interest rates are going higher. So, you may have the challenge of that you can't get out of that CD. Just say, for example, you have a CD that has penalties on it, and you can't get out of it to get into the increasing interest rates, because they'll give you a penalty to get out of it. So if that just shows us that there are risks in everything that we do. There is always a risk involved in each investment choice. We just need to understand that regardless of what we do, that we're making a decision, that we all have to make choices. If you want to be extremely conservative, then that means that you might not have the type of growth, but you also will not have the volatility or the bad times that they think that may happen. And we can just promise ourselves that there's going to be, bad times, that the Dow is not going to always be reaching record highs. I can guarantee you that we will have volatile days ahead. Now, that is fair to say. What do you do because of that? That you make sure that you poise and separate your specific portfolio, that if it is funds that you're going to need in a short period of time, say less than 5 years, you don't have time for this money to grow. If you're going to need it within a 5-year period, then it should not be in the stock market. You really need to realize that the stock market is for people generally that have time for their money to grow. So, or you can go on my jbbryan.com website and do a risk calculator, and it will immediately send me the email with your risk score, and it will give you and show you what adjusting markets mean according to your particular amount of money that you say that you want to invest or have invested. And it will say, that are you willing to take this type of risk or no? And you said no, well then what can you go back to what you can take? And then I love it. I love it. I mean, to do that one time to try to screen share, kind of show you, but it's just, kind of difficult. But I definitely do those types of things. And the AfroEconomics members, classes that we're having this year on portfolio and stock investing, that it will be, a lot, it will be better if you could come in, but we're going to let all the members come in through conference call as well. So, but there's a lot that you could do. Just go into the website and click get your financial risk score or get your financial score, and then click that. It's on the bottom of the first page of jbbryan.com. And it'll allow you to realize that we know there's going to be volatility, but how can you stomach it? If you can't take it, then you need to realize that these type of things shouldn't even excite you. If you can't take it when it's not 20,000, if it goes from 20,000 to 18,000, you're going to go crazy. Don't mess with it. So then the federal, another topic we just talked about, update on the stock market, the federal job freeze. Now, got a lot of concern for people about that. And then, so with this and some notes that I put that I want to make sure I share with you, that all the jobs that were already in the process are still being processed according to the reports from the government. They said that they just did a freeze on new hiring, not on the ones, because to get a job with the government, it takes a lot of months. So you don't expect the federal job process to be frozen. They say that it's just a time of changing leadership and they want to figure out specifically what's going on. So and I also noted that Black unemployment is indeed high, and I feel that a solution to it is the seventh principle. A solution for people that are unemployed is the seventh principle of entrepreneurship. I encourage us to increase our skills. Think about, what are we good at? What are you good at that you can make money at and take care of you and your family? What are some things that you can do, and not just accept if you have you or family members actually unemployed. Think about what you can do to change that. And is entrepreneurship something that you would seriously consider? I really truly believe that entrepreneurship, can be the answer for lowering Black unemployment and underemployment, because, having your own business, you can, you would never feel like you're underemployed. You would be doing underemployment and overemployment stuff. You would be doing it all. So consider starting your own business, but know that the federal job freeze is a temporary, that's what they're saying, a temporary thing, and they'll be opening up. But you realize that an overwhelming percentage of our community works for the government in some capacities, federal, state, local, and realize that is it, should we really depend, completely on the government for our future? Should you, really tell to your children, go to college, go in debt, get a government job? Like, maybe talk to them about other options. Even if you're working for the government, continue to look at other options and realizing that there are, opportunities out there for the skills that you have. And sometimes you have to change in order to get the raise that you want. I hear a lot of people complain about their jobs a lot, but they're not doing what they have to do to take it to the next level. And that's what we've got to do. And then I also put down that I should add, and I did, before I talk about taxes, when you see behind me with the Dow hit the 2000, but what is in the Dow? So I'm just going to tell you, like, some of the ones, the names that we would quickly recognize of those Dow 30. This is not all of them, of course, because you get bored and you'll leave me if I list all the 30. But Apple is in the Dow, Coca-Cola is in the Dow, Disney's in the Dow, the GE is in the Dow, Home Depot, IBM, Intel, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's, a lot of Microsoft, Verizon, Visa, Walmart. Those are names like that that we can quickly identify with. So this suggests, let's see, of those, I didn't notice like which one. Yeah, Apple is part of that, going over 20. Apple is up, Disney is up, Coca-Cola is up, Home Depot is up a lot. Like it's up like year to date. Home Depot at this point is saying, up over 3%. The IBM up over 7% this year. Like what day is this? Like the 25th, January 25th, 2017. This is what happened. So the um, as of putting that out, Johnson and Johnson actually is down year to date. So the McDonald's down year to date. They're only slightly, but see, you can still have a Dow over 20,000 and have things that are not up. Which one is that? Oh, Procter and Gamble though is up year to date. A lot of the pharmaceuticals, have been touched because the government has said some, things about drug prices and things like that. So, but it doesn't seem Procter and Gamble doesn't seem, the Pfizer one, Pfizer. Let's see. Oh, Pfizer is down. So and then Merck is actually up, another pharmaceutical year to date. So Microsoft is up. So Verizon is down dramatically. Well, we want to say like why? Like those are things that we can think about. Like what's going on with that? Visa's up substantially for year to date. Visa, yeah, and then Walmart's actually down in their price year to date. So you can do that. See how by having a lot of different things, even though it's the Dow overall is reaching record highs, that you still can have some parts of the portfolio. Well, this is an index, but that's that can actually still be lower. So that's why we need to make sure that our portfolio is the same, that we are diversified, that we go across different asset classes. Though the Dow Jones is made up of all stocks, but if you were having your own portfolio, we could do other things that so that you didn't have 100% stock exposure. So those are definitely some key things to think about when you look at the Dow, when you hear about the Dow. What is it? What does it mean to you? Where's your money? How's your money doing? And making sure that your portfolio is poised according to your specific risk tolerance and your financial goals and your time horizon. So then, what about tax tips? A few things I want you to think about now is the key point is file immediately. File as soon as possible. As soon as you have your tax forms that you need, start filing them. Make sure that you're using technology as much as you can so that you can make sure that all your numbers are right and that your documents don't get rejected. Make sure a big error I've seen with a lot of families when they have children, and making sure if you're divorced, which parent is going to file the children and which children, because you will be rejected for that. So making sure that you communicate through and get everything to give them everything that they ask for, and then get all of your things ready and be very organized and use this as an opportunity to plan for next year. Because we really should be. People who wait a long time, like I had an accountant that would do extensions every year, and I told him by doing extensions, he does not allow me the opportunity to do the planning that I need. And then I had to take over doing that, and I allowed that, unfortunately, to happen for almost 15 years. And that's what, when I see people on television and the stars, some will say, oh, they didn't know what was going on in the account. I know how that is possible, but I also know that we can take over and that we can shut that down and make sure that you're okay, because the bottom line is it's my responsibility. So make sure that you understand, and that if you do have someone helping you, stay on them and make sure that they're starting your taxes immediately. Do not let them put you off. The person who continues to push to make sure that their personal return and their business returns and whatever they need to be done gets done, that's the one that gets done correctly and gets it done first, and look over everything. I encourage all my clients that before they push that button, get them to print it out, get them to email it to me, get them let's look at it. I can't even tell you how many times in my career I have caught thousands of dollars in mistakes from the tax preparer's return. And then having to get an amended return because they overlooked something. So it's always best if you have someone that's on your team that will help you. Any member of AfroEconomics, I will, provide a second view of their tax return for them and give them insight on any deductions or any expenses or anything that they overlooked, and how, especially with a lot of our community having real estate, and there are so many of us that don't report the real estate and the rental income, on their tax return, not realizing that they're losing a lot in tax benefit of that, because too many of us are losing money on the property and then not writing it off. So let's be very conscious that if you have a business, if you're operating a business, take advantage of what the government allows you to deduct as a business. When they were attacking Trump during the those debates, and that you're saying like his business wrote off those losses and everything, like that's what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to follow every tax law that they have. You are not, like, there is absolutely no reason that he should not have followed the tax laws. We should not, address anybody on not, on taking advantage of what is designed in order to make sure that our economy continues to grow, that we need businesses that can hire people so that we can continue to grow. I need you to be as financially astute as possible, and understanding taxation is our way. The more money that we keep in your family, our community, the more powerful we will be. And so that's very important. So those were the tax. Oh, and another tax tip is to increase your savings. Make sure that you are participating in a plan at work. If you work somewhere and you have a plan, get in it, find out, get me to help you. If you don't know how to allocate the funds, get an investment advisor, get help. Get an IRA if you don't have, get in the my retirement account.gov that the government has. Get in something, start saving. Adjust whatever you have. Like if you have where you're getting a lot of money back at the end of the year, then that's well, the beginning of this year. If you're getting money back, if you're getting a big, like getting $5 grand back and things like that, $3 grand, that just means that you paid too much during the year. That's what it means, like that you were allowing the government to use your $5,000 all year long. So make sure that you adjust your withholdings. So once you see that you keep getting large amounts back, don't get excited about getting it back, especially if you have a credit card balance. They're not giving you any interest on that money that you're holding, and the credit cards companies are still charging you interest, and you could have been paying it off all year. So don't be very careful with celebrating a high tax refund, like getting your money back, because that's not a good thing. You want to get, want to kind of break even. I would prefer like just send a little check, have to send a little bit back in, because you've been saving all year. You got your emergency fund. You know what's going on. It's right in alignment. You have to send a couple hundred in. That's cool, but them sending you 5,000 at the end of the year, or the beginning of this year, because you allowed them to, to withhold too much. That's not cool. So make sure that you do things now and do your tax return as early as possible, and look out for if you've done work and they're going to send you a 1099, make sure you do not do your return till you get that 1099. Get the 1099. Somebody owes you a 1099, get the 1099. If they haven't sent you 1099, and they say that they don't have to give you a 1099, then that's different, but you still have to report it, and you have to ask them, why don't you have to send me a 1099? Because we have to face this, because if they don't send you the 1099, then they get audited, then they send to you. It can trickle down, to being a tax problem to you. So make sure that any person or contractor or vendor that you worked for, if they owe you a tax form, if they asked you for your social security number, they're going to be sending you a tax form. So make sure you do the right thing and report correctly. So make sure you put any comments in. If you have any specific questions for me, this was a big bite, but I really enjoyed this discussion. Look, I've enjoyed this talk, this discussion with me. You were talking back to me, right? So all I have is those like 3 guys behind me, and they didn't say anything. They're very quiet, but they were talking, but I muted them out. But I will not mute you out. Please leave me comments and email me at jb@afroeconomics.com or jb@jbbryan.com, comment or follow me on Facebook, follow AfroEconomics with JB Bryan on Facebook, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching today about so many things. So if you're just like getting in and watching this, make sure you go back and you make sure if you're looking at it live and you haven't heard the same thing when I turn this off, go back, because like we did market update, I talked about a few of the Dow components. We talked about the freeze on the Fed that is not going to be frozen. We could call it like a freeze, and that hopefully it's melting each day. But I do feel that we should look at creating our own jobs, definitely, on a way of not having to depend on the government or anyone else for income. So you always have to create, you have to depend on someone, because I'm depending on you to help me build my business. So we do depend on each other, but start your own business. It's real. And make sure you do your tax returns now. Make sure you take advantage of every deduction. Make sure if you have a business and you do it on your personal tax return on your Schedule C and you don't know what you can write off, make sure you check that out and find out all of the list of deductions before you even give it to your tax preparer, because you might have some things that she says that you have, or fill this in, and maybe they'll give you a form that says fill this in, but just make sure that the fill in that they have, don't just base it on, because you may have made mistakes last year and left things out. So make sure you take full advantage of the deductions that are available to you as an individual and as a person, as a business, and do your returns as quickly as possible. Thank you. I'm JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics. Check out AfroEconomics.com and the app as well. God bless you. See you next week, same time. Take care.